guys, welcome to our new lesson on 5th grade for linear perspective. We're going to be doing a 1-point perspective drawing. We're going to learn what a horizon line is and how to create it, what a vanishing point is and how to create it, how to use size to create distance, which is very, very helpful, and we'll end up making a 1-point perspective drawing. Alright, so one of the first things that I need you to pay attention to is this line that's going all the way across the paper straight and without any bends in it. You'll notice the line is actually horizontal. That's because the horizon is where things stop going back and start going up. You'll also hear it described sometimes as where the land and the sky meet. Now, it will always be horizontal, so it will always be flat, and the other thing that happens is on that vanishing point, on that horizon line, you have a vanishing point. The vanishing point is where everything looks like it's traveling to and almost going into a tiny funnel. So everything's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and angling back towards that vanishing point to produce a 1-point perspective drawing. Now, really important to know, the vanishing point can be anywhere along this line. It can go anywhere in there, but it does have to be on the line. It can't be up here, or down here, or over here. It has to be somewhere on that line. This is one that can kind of show you a little bit better where we are as far as traveling back towards the vanishing point. So right here, you see the horizon line. Maybe we know it's a horizon line because A, it's horizontal. B, it's where things stop going back, so the water going flat and back, and things start traveling upwards, so the tops of trees and the sky. We can also tell it's the horizon line because the vanishing point is on it. Now, one of the things I want you to notice is that, look, the trees are getting smaller and smaller as they go to the vanishing point. What is it? Pier? Yeah, we could call it a pier. The pier is getting smaller and smaller as it goes towards the vanishing point. All those things are traveling and getting smaller, like they're being sucked into a black hole or going down a funnel. Alright, so let's practice together. I want you to look and see if you can find the vanishing point and the horizon line. Now keep in mind, the vanishing point is going to be a point where everything looks like it's going towards, and the horizon line and the vanishing point have to be together. You think you got it? Alright, so we're looking at a vanishing point right here and a horizon line that travels through it. Now I apologize, I'm not going to be totally straight since I've got a mouse to work with. Alright, did you get that one right? Let's try a different one. Oop, I've got to unclick this, I think. There we go. Alright, this one's kind of tricky. Remember, vanishing point and horizon line are together. Horizon line is always flat. And it's where things stop going back and start going up. Think about it. Where do things stop going back and start going up? Things stop going back right along this line where the trees and the grass meet. Now, the key for us that makes it a little bit harder is finding the vanishing point. So here's this path. It's going back, it's going back. We can see the shadow in the side of the river where it's going back. Our problem with it thinking it might be here or here is that neither one of those places touch the horizon line. But if we look, we can see how it kind of curves up to right there. So there's your vanishing point, and there's your horizon line. Good deal. Alright, next up. Let's see if you can find the vanishing point and horizon line here. Think you got it? If you said your vanishing point was right there at the very bottom of the stairs, you're right. And we know that since that's there, the horizon line has to go across through it. Good deal. All right, let's move on to the next picture. Now, I've got an extra question for this one. Horizon line, vanishing point, and I want you to look and see there are two main paths that are helping draw the viewer back towards that vanishing point. So there are two main paths that you can look at and kind of be drawn in. You think you got it? Well, let's go ahead and find our vanishing point so that that seems a little bit clearer. Our vanishing point is right here. Now, of course, if the vanishing point is there, we can see really clearly where things stop going back and start going up. So right along that meat of that shoreline. Now let's look at our two lovely, our two paths. So our main path we have right along here, this bridge. And you could also include the bridge's rails as part of that path. But those are automatically leading you into the drawing like you were walking towards it. Our kind of hidden path, the path you might not be looking for, are the lights. They also are traveling towards the horizon line and the vanishing point, and they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Ha-ha! So this person was really paying attention. Alright, next up. This one's pretty busy. Think about it. It's got to be where it stops going back and starts going up. And it also needs to be right at that ground. Just like right where your feet are on the ground and meeting it. Think you got it? Alright, we come right there. Which means our vanishing point is there and our horizon line comes here. Now, one of the things you'll notice on that one is it's still got that flat. But what if we pull out a slightly trickier one? Alright, so things to remember. It stops going back and starts going up. Everything is traveling toward this point, or angling towards that point, and the horizon line has to be horizontal. It has to be flat. So think about it. Where's the path leading you? Where's it going? Alright, are you ready to see? If you haven't found it yet, pause so you can see if you can do it. So in this one, our path vanishes right here. We have an overlap of background, and that's the end of our vanishing point. We can't figure it out past that. And our horizon line then goes straight through that vanishing point. Now, part of what makes this one so weird and difficult is that these hills are angled in a way where they're going over and down. They're angling in a very curvy, undulating sort of way. So that does make it a little bit more complicated. But if you'll remember, backing up meat, and that you are only putting your vanishing point where the horizon line is. So for example, I couldn't put it up here because that is above the horizon line. Okay, now last but not least, we're going to look at this picture. This picture has, of course, a vanishing point and a horizon line, but the person who took the picture, the photographer, has also really, really thought about what to do to help them create that drawing down, that going towards the vanishing point. They want your eyes to be part of it. So let's see. Our vanishing point is there. Our horizon line, you guys are probably champs at this by now. You know what you're doing. It's going across and across. Let's find those things that are helping you to see what we're doing. Alright, one thing is the rails. you notice these rails across the top get smaller and smaller as they go down, and they also get closer and closer together. A second thing that's helping us are these painted splotches. They are also getting smaller and smaller and getting narrower as they go down. Another thing that's happening is this has side rails. And those side rails are also following the rule of going to our vanishing point. Now, also cool, the lines on the road. They're creating another path, so they're going to the vanishing point. You might notice that people are getting smaller and smaller as they go towards a vanishing point. And, fun fact, you'll notice their feet are higher and higher up the further back they get. That's because the closer you are to the horizon line, the further in the background you are. And you will also see these lights right here. They're coming down towards the vanishing point, and they are getting smaller and smaller just like the people. So that's a lot of things that he did to help you see what's going on in the picture. Pretty cool, isn't it? Alright, we are going to go and we'll be going down the road of drawing, and we're going to be creating our own. Now today we're just going to do a real quick sketch. So it doesn't matter what size paper you have, if you have a half sheet, or if you have just a scrap, or if you have a whole sheet of printer paper. Anyone's fine. First thing we've got to do is we've got to draw a horizon line. So my horizon line is going to be at least halfway up the paper, and it goes straight across. Alright, once you've got this, you know that you need a vanishing point somewhere on the horizon line. Not near the horizon line, but on it. It could be to the left, to the middle, to the slightly right of middle, to the right. Any way you want it. I'm going to come right here. I'm just going to make a small mark. I don't need a giant dot. Now, I'm going to take my first line, and it's going to angle outwards. So it doesn't matter which way it angles. It might angle to the right, it might angle to the left. But I'm going to take my first line, and I'm going to angle it. The one thing I don't want to do is go straight. Alright, we've got it. Now I'm going to angle my second line. I can angle to the left or the right, but it's got to come from that vanishing point and go down. So one way I could do it would be right here. I like to make it lean a little bit to the further side. Okay, now that we've got this, we are going to shade in that path. So just kind of roughly coloring it in. You can use the side of your crown if your crown is peeled, but we're just going to shade that in. Alright, now we're going to talk about placing objects. So when you're using objects, they get smaller as they go towards the horizon line, and they also go up the paper. Now, right now we're going to do a small object, and we're not going to vary them. It's not going to be, oh, there's a cow here, and a house here, and a barn here. We're going to do trees. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the horizon line, and I'm going to scatter little trees. And they all should be about the same size. So they're back scattered. Now something kids ask me is, Miss Walker, but trees aren't all the same size. Yes, that's true. However, right now, we're getting the basics of our sizing correct, and they do follow a general rule of thumb. They are about the same size as they're going back in your vision. Alright, now the next thing we do is we come down a level. So when I say down a level, what I mean is we were here on the paper, and now everything will line up along there on the paper. So on the next level, I'm drawing those trees, but I'm drawing them slightly bigger. It didn't go from, a Happy Meal size fry to a jumbo large, but it does get a little bit bigger. And you'll notice I'm not wavering the height distance, so I'm not moving the bottom of the tree up. I'm keeping it along that same line. Okay. I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to come down again to my next level of where I am visually, and I'll have bigger trees. Now I'm trying to keep them close to the same size on the same row. Alright, we're going to have one more row. And this row will be nice and big. Now you may end up in a situation where some of your trees in the front overlap your trees in the back. That's totally fine. Overlapping is another way we can show how things are getting smaller. Alright, do you see it? Do you see how it looks like you could go along that road and how these trees are far away and these trees are close up? Great! Alright, so we will be talking about how to start your own drawing next week. It was great to see you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Bye.